right. Okay, Sister Deborah. Okay. All right. Shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on the Devil platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Ahaya has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just coming with a message. Uh, I'm not going to hold you long, but I just, first of all, I want to say I thank the Most High for being who He is by Himself, not needing you nor I to make Him who He is. He is the I am, and He's going to always be the beginning and the end. I want to say to you all that where we're at today is a shalom in a live chat. It's good to see you. Good evening. We're at a place in life where we are to embrace what the Father Ahaya is about to do. And know that what He's about to step into is going to work on our behalf. It's going to work on our behalf. I was thinking something that was really strange. I think about the word believe. And I think about when Abraham was in the vision. And that was in, let me see if I can pull that up, Genesis chapter 15. In Genesis chapter 15, the Father was talking to Abraham in a vision. And He was giving him some word of spirit and truth regarding what shall come. And He told Abraham in how He had prepared for him to have a child, and He even broke down an heir. He even broke down and told Abraham that his seed shall be many. He told him, look up in the sky, and if you could count the stars. He's letting Abraham know that this is what I'm going to do for you, and how Sarah will also conceive, and they would have a child. In a sense, he was telling him this all in the vision. And it says here in Genesis chapter 15 and verse 6, and he believed in Ahia. He believed in Ahia. Like I said several times, you got to really be careful with taking words and applying them in the flesh and only in the flesh. Because after this whole, how would I say it, this whole vision that Ahia had suffered Abraham to go into, and he said to him in chapter 15 and verse 6, and he believed in Ahia, and he was counted in it to him to be righteousness. You see here what Abraham believed. You got to understand that there's two believed, okay? There's one in the flesh and there's one in the spirit, okay? This one here is the one in the spirit, because the moment Abraham stepped out of this vision, he went and he took on lying down with Hagar to bring forth a seed, after Ahia had already told him in the vision And what does it say happened in the vision? And Abraham believed. Chapter 15 of Genesis, verse 6. And let me start from the top where it says, I'm going to verse 4. Genesis chapter 15 and verse 4. And behold, the word of Ahiah came unto him, saying, this shall not be thy heir, but he that shall come forth out of thy own bowels shall be thy heir. He's letting Abraham know you're going to have a child, and that should be your heir. And it's going to bring many, really, let's go on and finish. Verse 5. And he brought him forth abroad and said, look now toward the heavens and tell the stars, if thou be able to number them. And he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. Now, notice when he was in that vision with the Most High, we know he was in a vision. And if he was in that vision with Ahiah, therefore he was on holy ground. Okay, let's go up to Genesis chapter 15. It tells you right here. Verse 1, after these things, the word of Yah came unto Abraham in a vision. Fear not, Abraham. Why is Abraham going to fear? Because he was on a different, he wasn't in the natural. He was in the spirit, a place he had never entered into. This was a place Ahiah brought him into, okay? And he said, fear not, Abraham. I am thy shield and thy exceedingly great reward. See, Abraham had a fear, like a scare about where he was. So we know that he wasn't just in his natural. He had to have been somewhere very special. And in that vision, the father went on and told him how he's going to allow him to have a seed that's going to come, an heir that's going to come out of his own bowels. And then he told him, he measured it by the stars and told him to number them if he could. And then he said unto him, so shall thy seed be. And when you get to verse 6, you hear it says, and he believed in Ahiah. That right there is a very powerful statement. I want to understand everything always and shall be measured in twos. Okay, you measure things in the natural and then you measure it in the spirit. Okay, when with this word believed, he was counted already. He was branded for the Father's name's sake. So he had fear, faith, belief, and righteous already within. That was the brand. So it says here, and he believed in Ahiah, in his word. So do you think that which Abraham believed, was it in the spirit realm or was it in the natural? It was only in the spirit realm, because the moment he came out of that vision, when he touched base with Sarah, he did the opposite to what he believed in the vision. Deborah, you better cut that out. Now, he believed, and he was counted righteous as long as he was in the vision. With what and who? The word of Ahiah himself. But when he got in the natural, it never dawned on him, wait a minute, I ain't gonna lay down with this lady and have a seed by her after I was just in the vision and the Father done told me he gonna give me an inheritance out of my own bowels, an heir. So what belief was that? That was a spiritual belief. The same one I told you. That's how the Gentiles are being grafted in, has been grafted in through faith and belief. It's a brand, you see, and it's not a brand of their natural choice, meaning it's not a brand that they mouth say or a brand that they choose. Because if it was up to them, then one of them would enter in, and nor would we. You get what I'm saying? But according for us, to those that are called into that small remnant that's numbered, it is cause we were branded for his name's sake before we got down here. Okay. And I wanted to just point that out to you. The word that I be telling you all about, that's the brand of the Father, that he has branded for his name's sake, those. Because Abraham's faith went down the opposite end, come being in the flesh. I mean, it was like quick. What happened to all that he showed you in the vision? Didn't mean nothing. Why? Because now he in the flesh. You see? And the flesh gave him another option. Come on, have Hagar so we can have a child. You see? What did you just have in the vision? So that's why we need to be cautious trying to get people to expectation of those that were the seed that came down as the sons of Yah, the anointed, appointed ones. They came down branded for the Father's name's sake. So I just wanted to show you that, and even when he accepted, believed, and righteous, and counted righteous, that was in a vision. That was in holiness. That was when he was on holy ground in the presence of the word of Yah. So that's why it was easy for him to leave that. And then when he get over here with Sarah, and Sarah tell him to lay with her handmaid, he dived straight in. You see what I'm saying? Never think, what did he tell you? What did he just tell you? You see what I'm saying? What did he just tell you? All that was knocked out the window. I want to just say that because a lot of us don't know that when I'm telling you about spirit and truth, it is real. You can get a spirit and truth. You match that up with fleshly wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. People, that's what people are living on today. Fleshly wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. They're not living nor teaching and preaching and leading and guiding on anything in spirit and truth. They're doing it in the natural. Okay. So, and in the natural, it can deceive more people in the natural than it can in the spirit. That's why hell has enlarged in herself, and the broad gate is pretty broad for many to go therein, because many people are going and desire to step in a realm out so far away from the natural. It's two. It's either spirit or natural. So when Sister Deborah is saying spirit and truth, I'm trying to get people that are already branded for his name's sake to really graft the ideal of spirit and truth. That's what really rests in you. Okay. Not so much as the things that the world and those who are following the ways in which they think is a higher, but it is worldly. And that's why they don't have the shame. They don't have the conscience or the shame or the embarrassment or the guilt. Y'all didn't notice that, did you? A lot of them don't even have the guilt to what they're saying and how they're leading a multitude of people. You know, they don't have no shame, none whatsoever. I mean, like none. I was telling you all about, so I was wanting you to see the two different beliefs. See, meaning that if you walk around here and say, I believe, I believe, I have faith, you know, I'm righteous, you better be careful, because you stuck on stupid. You that righteous of the flesh, you're not the one of the spirit. Because when you are of the spirit, it's not a thing that you say, it's a thing that you feel. It's something down deep in you that you know that you know. And it's not the words that rolls so easily off your lips. And I explained to you all another thing I have explained to you all before, and in almost on the same category of tools as far as belief, and belief. Righteous and righteous. Spiritual righteousness is a brand. Worldly righteousness, self-righteous, self-motivated, what he say, ever learning, never coming to the knowledge, because they are self-centered and feel that they are so caught up in truth out of their own self, you guys. They're not caught up in spirit and truth. And that's why you don't hear a lot of people even tackle the fact that, wait a minute, what did they talk about when they say spirit and truth? They could care less. They have done so well with teaching wisdom of the flesh, knowledge of the flesh, and understanding of the flesh. They don't even touch, they don't want to even go in the realm of spirit and truth. They don't even want to go in the realm of the light. You know what he said? You are the light that is set upon a hill that cannot be hidden. You see, he's letting you know that light is not your flesh. It is a spirit that the spirit of the higher, in which you represent, and you was appointed and called and for. Can't be hidden. Can't. No matter how you try to hide, you can't. And I've learned that myself throughout my whole life. You can try to hide, you can try to get away from everything and everybody, but guess what? It's coming straight at you. No matter where you go out, this house, it's gonna come at you. So it's not you can dodge, it's not you can get away with it. Because I'll be trying to figure lately, say in the last 10 years, I've been trying to figure out, why do people feel they have to look me? When they look at me dead in my eyes like they've seen a ghost. And to me, I'm like, the young people, you see. So I'm telling you all this, a lot of things that you all are trying to master is pretty much in the natural and not in the spirit. Let me tell you another thing. Back in the days, no one really sat down and write one thing, that's two things that the Most High have been displeased with in this book. You would know that he's displeased with sin and idling gods, having other gods before him. Those are things that we know that he disapproves of. But a lot of it been going on since Genesis all the way to today. Still going on in the year 2023. Heavily. Because people thinking they can get to God through their idol God. And back in the days, you know how you see them always showing you pictures of back in the days, and them statues and all that. That stuff people worship and idol. They look at marvel off of stuff like that. You see, these are people who put things before a higher, you know, and don't put him first, or don't even consider him to be, you know, our true creator. They built their own idol God. But guess what has happened? Instead of coming through the front door, it came through the back door, the basement door, and the side window. What was that? Man. Man came to represent the idol God. You see, a lot of people don't even understand that they are idling. They don't. But he said you're going to be doing it the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. If you think fire is kindled under his feet, that will be the number one. Because he sees that we as people in the flesh idol gods. We make them God. And that's how we have forsaken him so easily, so quick, so swift, and has embraced it. We idol the things of man. I heard someone talking about Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Now, you see the picture in which they call Jesus Christ. Okay? That's an idol God. And listen, look how many years, hundreds and hundreds of years, have they idoled this God, and all the way up until today. And I would go for I'm just gonna throw something out there. This don't mean it's 100. It's about 80% of the population believe in an idol God. Really? So how do you think he should feel to know he is? He is the truth. He is the one that created all things. And all things is created by him. But look at how we go forth and believe every word that proceeded out of the mouth of man, every word that proceeded out of the mouth of woman, every word that proceeded out of the books that we have, that we read, that we study. Everything overstep the true and living a higher. So have you ever thought, when I wonder how he feel about that? Even what I'm saying, 80% have an idol God. There are people who idol their husbands. They idol their wives. I've seen them idol their children. Oh, yes, honey. They think they children. Oh, my goodness. They idol their children. They idol their wealth. What little they have, they idol it. They cherish it. You know, they put it so high above even their hearts. That's why he said, where your heart is where what he said. Now he said, where your wealth is laid up is where your heart is. Something like that. And it's the truth. It is 100% truth. Because people have laid everything up as an idol God. And they have not put that in the proper category. It cannot override our Father. The things that we have, the things that we accomplished in life, degrees, positions, homes, nice family, husband, wife, children, all these things. We idol a lot of things, you guys, because we feel, look what we got. I earned this. This is mine. This. You know, I got this here. And we idol those things. But I think the greatest thing that we idol, we put another God before a higher. 80%. 80% put other gods before the Most High or higher. So I would like to say to you, how do you think he should feel? To create all things and everything you have, it was because of him. But yet he gets no praise. He gets no honor. He gets no glory about anything. You get it, and you give it unto man. Everything that you see, we would give the praise and honor to the flesh of man, instead of looking and saying, wait a minute, everything that you see, it couldn't have come forth without the creator himself. That he don't want to share his glory. He don't want to share his praise. He don't want to share his honor. You see? So I don't know where we get off thinking that it's okay to idol everything and put it above him because you have it, you got it, you need it, you want it, and you feel that it's something that brings you a little higher than someone else. So here we are today. We're living with materialistic things, and we live in serving. Do you all know, when I say 80%, I should cut it up to 10. I mean, cut it up another 10 and say 90, because you got people in the church, the temple. You got people all over the world on all these medias. Guess what they're doing? When we get here and we are talking and people are liking us and praising us and giving us glory and giving us honor, if what we're saying is not leading you to the the Father himself, who is entitled to the glory and the honor and the praise. But we sit on this devil platform day and night, night and day, chasing videos just to give ourselves praise, honor, and glory. Even in our messages, it don't have nothing to say about him. Y'all didn't notice that, did you? Most people on these platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all of them, they sit, you don't hear them talking nothing about the praise that needs to go up for the Father, the honor, the glory, the recognition. You don't hear them saying none of that. And the saddest thing about it, they've been doing it for years. And we as individuals give them the glory, give them the praise, give them the honor. That's idling God. So what I come to understand, this is why it is finished and it is over. And he's not coming to deal to where he's going to convince you nor I that it's going to be A, B, C, D, or E. No, no more of that. Because we have idled 400 years. We have idled a man 400 years. And still yet today, can't see our left from our right, nor our right from our left. Because we chose to serve an idol God. That's been going on since the beginning of time. Since the beginning of time. Since the beginning. We as a people have been known to always want someone present so that we can see and believe, so that we can feel accepted, so that we can feel like we're in there. And when you see this here, see, when Satan got up and he started opening these platforms, it was so that he can get all the glory and all the praise. And don't think he ain't. Even those who are saying Ahaya, even those who are saying Yahuwah, even those who are saying Yeshua HaMashiach, even those who are saying all the words that have led people to their pages to do search on this newfound awakening, it never led them to a true and living and only creator. Never led people to give them praise, to give him glory, to give him praise, to give him glory, to give him honor. So all these years, people are waiting for the next video so they can praise the flesh of man and give him honor and give her honor and feel it is okay because it seemed like everybody is doing it this way and it is acceptable. And how I come to that is when I began to see that you see more people running to pages where people ain't saying nothing about the Most High or higher. No glorifying him, no magnifying him, no worshiping him, no direction to where is he at? Where is he at? Where can we find him? Nothing. And they get all the praise and the glory and the honor. This leads me to understand. I'm all for the narrow gate, the small remnant. Very few shall find their end. And if it was so, it would fool the very elect. I'm all for it because Ahaya has to have a small amount that has not dipped into that lifestyle. Because it's very powerful because, it's two. It's like, whose side are you on? If you ain't on a higher side, giving him praise, honor, and glory and worship, then whose side are you on? You on the opposite end. It ain't 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's only 2. And see, a lot of them don't know that. Not that they don't know that it's only 2. A lot of them don't understand. I ain't gonna say don't give them. Not that they don't understand. They have chosen to fulfill their life with a highest breath in them to serve the opposite end of what he stands for. It brings them more pleasures. If they feel more peaceful, they feel like they in there, they are included, they are acceptable. But these people have not. And I'm going to tell you all, I've been on this platform. I close down, I open back up, I close down, open back up, I close down. But I can just see within the 4.5 years, closing and opening, I can still see, no matter how many times you close, no matter how many times you open, Deborah, the conversation and the praise and the honor and the uplifting and the boasting and boosting and is given unto the idol God. And to learn, to fully understand, the idol God is the flesh of man. Yes, that's the idol God, as the idol God back in the days. They would build statues and things like that. But today, they're not building stuff like that. They're taking on that position, okay, to deceive the people in great numbers. And when you hear them worshiping them, and where you know that they don't fully understand they're worshiping Satan, and they're not even on a higher side, is where you hear them talking, and they not only teaching the people to give messages to give them glory, they glorifying themselves too. See, they done made themselves the God, and they don't see nothing outside of them being the one. Everything that this person will want and need and wants to join or what, come to me. Never telling people, seek ye the kingdom. Seek ye the kingdom first. You don't hear nobody. And I'm telling you, the 4.5 years I've been on here, I ain't seen it. I have not seen it. So that lead me to also understand how the belief in which Abraham had in the vision was different than the belief that he had in the natural. Let's go there again. The belief that he had in the vision is even different than the belief that he went to this king and he felt he had to say Sarah was his sister just to get what he went into the king to get, without the king trying to take his life. Okay. What was going on when you believed? And Ahia told you he counted you already in as righteous. See, it's a different belief. Because if it was the belief that you all thought, then why couldn't he have enough belief to just go to the king and just ask him, this is my wife, we're here, our people need this here, this, and trust that the Most High and believe that the Most High will give it to him? Why didn't he use that same belief that was revealed to him in the spiritual realm? Because it wasn't him saying it, it was him in the spiritual realm. Why couldn't he use that belief? Why couldn't he use that righteous? See there, y'all? You see what I'm saying? So don't expect people to be so perfect to the utmost. And see, when you really dig deep, you realize they wasn't as we wanted them to be and wanted them and made like and pretend that they were. They were just like you and I. They were no different. There's two sides. They came down as the seed. They were branded for his name's sake. That means they came down here like you and I, living a life and sinning and doing things that was not righteous. You see what I'm saying? Because if after he would have came out that vision, that should have told him a lot of things. That should have told him, no, I'm not going to go in here to this king, because if he told me that he's going to give me an heir out of my own bowels, and then told me look at the stars and count them, how large of a number of my how would I say it, seeds in the natural is going to be. You see, none of that fade, none of that. How would I say it? He put on his fleshly body. He didn't put what Ahia had said to him in that vision on. He didn't put it on. Want me to tell you why? Because when he told him that your seed gonna go in the land of captivity, in a sense, he didn't question it. He didn't do anything. So when he came out that vision, it was just something that was put in him in the spirit realm. He never furthered it to Abraham. Isaac and Jacob. He never went. So don't get it bent. Do not get it bent, because they are not the same. So when you go around and you said, I believe, I trust, I have faith, stop that. That's in your flesh. Try tapping in your spirit and let the Ruach speak to you in the how would I say it, in the spiritual tongue, to assure you from the inside who you are. Because if you really just telling yourself that, you're telling yourself that in the flesh to really psych your flesh mind. You need to this day learn to speak to the Father in spirit. A word that words you don't know, but he'll put it in your spirit like he did Abraham. And so I just think about Isaac. I think about Jacob and how he was drunk when he went in and had the oldest daughter, and how her father and them set it up for that. Why did the oldest daughter do that? And if Ahiah had the things that he had done, and the things that if they just listened to the spiritual part of them, but what they were living on the flesh as well. Don't think they were doing righteous things, because the brand that was in them was faith, belief, fear, and righteous. So they're going to come out on top regardless. But I want you to see that we can't put these people that's in this Bible, even like we're doing today. We got everybody in the world, and even people who ain't even atheists. They are atheists, and we'll put them up high. We'll give them glory and praise and honor. Look at the actors and the different ones that call themselves singing gospel song. No anointed. No, when I say no anointed, you got to understand, if everything is twos, there's an anointed for the spirit and there's anointed for the flesh, is what I'm trying to say to you. You know, Satan used to, from what I have heard, used to conceive. You see what I'm saying? So you have to understand that everything from now on, look at it in the twos. Okay, if you say things, you had an issue, and let's say things, you go to the store and you in line and you see these two people in front of you, and they turn around and they say something very negative to you, and you wonder, where is all this coming? Know that there's two things in that situation. There's a battle of the flesh and there's a battle of the spirit. You see what I'm saying? We so bent up and down, we didn't took what is righteous, belief, faith, and fear, and we're calling it of the most high, a higher, and it's not. It's what's in the flesh is for the flesh, but what is in the spirit is in the spirit, and that's two. And we should leave it there. What does he say? Flesh is always fighting against that which is spirit. What is it? Flesh and spirit is always warring against each other. See, I'm trying to say to you, that's what everything. Always go back and check things and see, wait a minute. The flesh of this is this, but the spirit of this is this. Try through prayer and just saying, Father, what is this? Like Sister Deborah say all the time, what is this? What is this for? Or if someone come to me and I'm trying to figure out, well, why did that person come to me? I always do that, because if someone comes, it's always somebody. It's the Father always give me some sort of dream or a quick vision the day or the day before, or even a week before. He always, and then you start to connect. You say, well, why did that person come to me talking like, oh, but yeah, you showed me that. You see what I'm saying? It's always a connection. So those things which is spirit, the Father will bring it to you and warn you about it, just like he did Abraham. You know, he told him, I'm going to have, you're going to have a family. You see? But it wasn't good enough for the flesh of Abraham, because he did the opposite. Even though you heard him say he believed, that was in the spirit, child. That's that brand I told you about for a highest namesake that he came down here with. That was in the spirit realm. But that's why it was real, like I said, it was real easy for him to go into Sarah's maid or whoever that was and lay down and have a child after the father had already told him, you know. So it's, and that's throughout the whole book. If you'll see him turning David this way, but David keep going this way. Here you'll see him telling David this, but David going this all the way through, you guys. That's because it's two of us. It's two parts to it. It's the flesh and it's the spirit. We have to measure everything and say, wait a minute. What is this? You see? What is this on this side? But don't get the flesh confused with the spirit. Because what we did is we took and we looked at all this flesh on these YouTubes. We look at all these flesh, got these churches, these mega churches, and we have idled them for years and years. Look at the Jesus Christ and his picture that matched his name. We have been up under them for so long and believing it, idling. You see, never really understanding that we were putting him here and putting a higher low. But by his grace and his mercy, he knew that we would come out someday, because he always had a ram in the bush. He knew that he would bring us out with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in the spiritual realm. And that's what you see, spirit and truth. And many are not going to even understand spirit and truth, let no one come near it, because they caught up in understanding the ways of the idol God than the ways of the true creator, a higher. They're not going to even reach that level. So I'm saying again, try to measure things in the right, I say the right order. Okay. Don't think because people are saying that, you know, you can worship them and you can praise them and you can honor them. No, you can't do that. Okay. And it's going to be a lot of people going out, and you're going to start to see also a lot of people being revealed who they are. Things coming out the closet, because every time I know I said this several times, and it just bothered me, because I remember, and my ex-husband told me, do you remember you said that man was like that? I said, you know what? It's a sad thing how long ago that was. When you see T.D. Jakes, if you look at him, he's a man that he even have all his clothes tight, real tight. And if you ever, when he used to do this years ago, I used to tell Charles, I said, look at him. He do his hand like that. That's what I used to think of him. I used to say that man is something else. You know, I never saw him, because the reason why I'm using T.D. Jakes is because that was one that I sat down and I listened to, and I liked his message. But in spite of me liking his message, there was another side of me had to judge him. You get what I'm saying? When Sister Deborah, I had to also explain to someone today, when I say that the Father say stay in your lane, that lane is even spiritual, you guys. It's not a natural lane. It's a spiritual lane. It's a lane in which a higher has predestined, ordained, and foreknew his assignment in you and son you here in that lane. He said, stay in that lane. No matter what you hear on the left, no matter what you hear on the right, stay in that lane, because you can see the finish line. What did he say? Very few shall find what? The narrow gate that leads to life. Very few shall find. In that narrow gate that I'm running in, it's narrow. That lane I'm in, He don't want me to look no other ways but forward. And he want me to stay in the lane in which he has predestined me to be in. And honestly, it should be more power out of that lane that I'm in because of my calling as a prophetess in the wilderness. And I am in the lane to judge and to teach and to bring judgment on the house of Israel in the tribe of Judah. That's the lane he's talking about. Stay, you see, don't go over here trying to do this. Don't go over here and trying to be this or trying to do. Stay in that lane. And no matter what's on your left and your right, stay in the lane in which I predestined you. I foreknew you to be. I appointed you. I anointed you from where? The heavens. That's my lane. So the lane that which he called me to run in, it is spirit and it is truth. So, and also being in this lane, I can't look to my left and give them people praise and glory and honor and put them above or higher. And I can't look to my right. Why? Because the lane in which I am in, the one that placed me in that lane gets all my praise, gets all my glory, gets all my honor toward him. No. I can't see no one else being the creator. And people don't understand when you take on people and put them on a pedestal, easily, people doing it all the time, is when you giving people credit. This is how I'm going to show the example. You see this book I got? Now watch this here. In Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. After these things, the word of Ahiah came unto Abraham. I call him Abraham. In a vision, saying, fear not, Abraham. I am thy shield and thy exceedingly great reward. What came to Abraham? The word of Yah. Who is that word? That word that was, that word that is, that word that shall be, and it was in the beginning. It always exists. Came to Abraham. It didn't say no one else, but it said Abraham. Now, when these people teach this here, they would teach it and people would give them the glory. They would give them the honor. They would give them the praise because the way they taught it. That's the point I'm saying to you. You see how people are idling? People are idling, man, and not giving the one who says, what is it? Came out of his mouth, and the word of Yah came unto Abraham. This is why I was saying, proceed out of the mouth of Yah. This is what Yeshua said, the word that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. So this is a verse that shows you out of Ahiah's mouth. He said this himself. Nobody else. But when they finish with this here, this verse and whatever other verses they put with it, guess what? They begin to get the praise. They begin to get the glory. They begin to get the honor because they taught you the word. Isn't that crazy? This is what I'm trying to say to you all. People want to give the flesh of man. That's the idol god people are idling this day and time. And not just today. They've been doing it for a long time. Don't see nothing wrong with it. It has become a lifestyle. And not looking at, wait a minute, how are they coming out of the book? Or how they say they have the Holy Spirit? And how they know the word that proceed out of his mouth? And how do they know this, and this, and this? But when they give they be on here, they can be on here an hour, they can be on here half an hour, they can be on here 2 hours. When they finish, guess what? They getting the glory. They getting the praise. Because it's like, oh, that's a good message. And you right. You right. I believe that. And you telling the truth. You tell, wait a minute. Where is Ahiah in this? Where is he going to get some praise? Where is he going to get some glory? He don't get any. And we run around here thinking it's all well. It's all good. It don't make no sense. It don't matter. People can't see themselves. That's why Sister Deborah tell you all, these platforms are the devil's platform. And people, even if they say Ahiah, if they say Yeshua HaMashiach, if they say Yahuwah or whatever, Yah, they are not about Yah. They're about trying to get you to worship them and idol them. And it's been happening time after time after time. So I say unto you, don't put all your heart, mind, and strength on giving people what you need, and you should have been given the Most High or higher. And the sad thing is about it, he knows already what you're going to say, how you feel before you even feel it and before you even say it. You see what I'm saying? So when you're doing it, it's not about trying to be fake or trying to role play that you're praising him. He already know if you're sincere. He already know if the praise is really being given unto him. Do you really feel he's entitled to it? That's what makes him so wonderful, so excellent, so perfect, so great, so powerful. It's because he knows all things. So it's not, we shouldn't role play it that we worshiping him and we honoring him. We put him on a pedestal. We need to it's got to be a feeling down in us that trust that he is all that and some. And these people on this devil platform cannot outride him and who he is. You can go through this Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and when you finish, he ain't gonna get the glory. He ain't gonna get the praises. You can go from Moses to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob to did I say David? You can go to everybody that was kings in this Bible, and they will get the praise before they give it to Ahia. And he the one suffered them to come down as the seed, to come down as an example. When you see him saying he can get the rocks to cry out, wait a minute, hold up, power, hold up, power. You ain't gonna get no rocks to cry out for me. Rocks, you better not cry out. You don't need you to cry out for me. He's just saying, whether you worship him, honor him, praise him, give him glory, magnify him. It don't matter, Deborah. I can get the rocks to cry out, and don't think they don't. Just because you don't hear it in the flesh don't mean they ain't crying out in the spirit. If he can turn around and have a donkey to speak, how dare we put limits on his power? If you have ever heard how the sea was parted on both sides to let the people walk on dry land, look, you will think that children today will be magnifying that whole power of my Father's right hand. Ain't nobody giving that right hand no glory. Nobody ain't giving that right hand no power, no honor. See, it's so much about the Most High. It's just so much about him. Seemed like we wouldn't even stop honoring him and worshiping him because there's so much about him that we can be given praise and honor and glory and magnify. But what we did is we decided to have flesh of men and women to get the praise and to get the honor. And they loved it. And that's why I call this a devil platform, because people will serve the devil before they serve a higher. And then they'll turn around and have no problems getting the honor, no problems getting the praise, because they'll say things that does not even turn people toward the honoring the Father, praising the Father, giving him the glory and the honor that's due him. And don't think he's in heaven on his throne. Oh, they're not praising me. They're not honoring me. Because if that was the case, before what took place before the foundation of the world would not have taken place. If he knew he going to be whining because you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. No, he saw it before the foundation of the world. Matter of fact, that right hand and everything else about him orchestrate what you see, what you seen, and what you going to see. So how you like him now? So it ain't that he's bent because you bent. He ain't crooked because you crooked. He ain't unrighteous because you unrighteous. He ain't unjust because you unjust. You see, he ain't evil or wicked because you evil and wicked. See, we want to line him up in those type of categories so we can be looked at as idol gods. And that's what these platforms was perform. These platforms were built to be able to make people gods over the Creator himself. And they have done an excellent job, because the more and more you see, the more and more is revealed. But it's revealed with darkness, midnight darkness. You don't see the light in these conversations and these teachings and preaching. You don't see spirit and truth. You don't hear the word of Yah. You don't hear the praise. You don't hear anything about the Most High or higher. And like I told y'all yesterday, I was thinking about Ruth and Naomi. And I said, Father, how did they get Ruth and Naomi? Well, wait a minute, hold up. They missing the let me tell you, they missing the miracle in that. Beautiful miracle in that. Today, you might get one out of the whole outside of me, I'm saying, can understand it in spirit and truth. Because when we begin to tell the stories in which Ahia have set before us to try to give us more wisdom and knowledge and understanding in the spirit realm about what was left here, then therefore, we will be in a better place in our minds, our hearts, and in our spirit. But we so far out in the deep, listening to those who are all the way out in the deep, and we give them the praise and the glory. When I look at the people, the characters, and the people in here, I try to understand, Father, why ain't you getting the glory for what they done? Why ain't you getting the glory in how you mold and shape them? Why ain't you getting the glory? No, they so busy trying to put these characters in this book on pedestals. They have never put Ahia above any and all, but they want to put the characters. And then after they put the characters in this book, then they begin to preach it and teach it and wait to get the glory for them, breaking down the character. Wait a minute, where do the Father get his glory? He the one caused the character to be in the book. We don't look at, Abraham, and then look at Ahia behind Abraham. We look at Abraham. And then what we do? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Wait a minute, hold up. Where is Ahia? Matter of fact, where's the right hand in that? Matter of fact, where's the stretched out arm in that? Where is it at? You can't find it because they are not including him in anything. In anything. Let's give it another example of Abraham. You remember him telling him to go and take Isaac and sacrifice his son? You see, to sacrifice his son. Now, when he told him to do that, you got to understand, he had already told him that he's going to give him a son. See, a lot of us look at the idea how Abraham was really going about to sacrifice his son. He was getting ready to stab. He really was, but you missed it. You missed it. You missed him being in the vision on holy ground with the Most High Ahia, telling him that he's going to give him a seed. You see? And they're going to be like the stars of the sea. The stars of the sky. And even you heard words when he told them the sand of the sea. All kind of things. But why is he sacrificing? Why is he going up traveling with Isaac and prepared, and Ahia telling him to take Isaac, and Isaac is supposed to be the sacrifice? Come on now, y'all. Think. Wait a minute, okay. We see in Abraham doing what Ahia says. Come on, y'all. Let's see that glory. Let's see that right hand power. Let's see what the Father was really saying and what was really going on. We can't see it because we're not in spirit and truth. We're seeing it in the natural. We can't see it in the spirit. When you start to see it in the spirit, you start to say, wait a minute, hold up, Father. You had already told him what he's going to have. You already told him, like the stars in the sky and the sand of the sea. You had already given him revelation. You know what I'm saying? It's just so much that you can turn right back to the face of Yah and get more clarity of what Abraham was about to do. But because we just laid it right in the lap of Abraham and him going to sacrifice Isaac, we don't even look at the spiritual part where a ram was stuck in the bush. Hey, Father, Yah, why that ram over in that bush? And why is he stuck? See, we don't see how the spiritual part of that, we don't look at that. look at nothing like that. We don't see stuff like that. We don't see the fact that Isaac had to be there and knew that did Isaac actually see Abraham fin to take his life? And what did that leave with Isaac as a child? No, Deborah. No, you got to be able to see the spiritual whole story in the story. Okay, but it's left here so we can see it, y'all. We miss it every time. That's why, Sister Deborah, stay on Deuteronomy 28. Because they missed the whole thing. They missed up all the care and the feeling he had for these people. They missed it. They dropped all the way down to ships and being a yoke around their neck and being oppressed. They left. They missed it. They didn't see the whole outcome, because if they would have seen the whole outcome, they would have understand. Guess what, y'all? We there. He getting ready to take us. We there. We just as loony as a bat, and we can't even see it. We there. I mean, gone. Really. We there. So ain't no other stage but to take us up out of here. And that's where we're at today. But people don't see the spiritual part of it, because they deny the power they're in. The power they're in what, Deborah? To the whole overall of the spiritual purpose for it all. We miss it, and we keep missing it. If we go to Moses, we miss it. Now I'm going back up in there. It said that Moses didn't make it to the promised land. He just as big as they. Why? What you mean, why? He kept going up on that hill talking to you, wasn't it? He keep communicating with you. He had a negative, nasty attitude, and none of y'all never knew that. Nobody never knew it. Go back in that book. Moses always telling the father to repent. Always telling him he need to cool his wrath down, in a sense, and repent. And don't do this to the people. Don't do this to the people. You see, all these things that he had said, but when I heard the reason why he wasn't going to make it to the promised land, I'm like, hold up, Father, y'all, all that. You mean the man didn't have the belief? He didn't have the belief. Wait a minute, Father, y'all, but the belief is the brand. He didn't have the belief, y'all. He didn't have the belief. You see? Because we so busy hearing man teach this book and being the God himself, we ain't heard the spiritual aspect of our true and only most higher, because we won't. That's how they were able to beat people across, even with the Catholics and the Christian, knowing that there was no such thing as Christian. That's how they were able to beat people in the head with this, to get people to believe it, because people weren't believing in a higher. They wasn't believing in the true creator. That's why they were easily led to believe any and everything, to the point where they didn't even have truth. Isn't that sad? Because as you go to Moses, and he's sitting here saying, Moses, telling Moses he ain't gonna make it to the promised land because him and Aaron did not believe. I said, wait a minute, Father, I need you to kind of help me to understand, why wasn't Moses in the book of Matthew chapter 1? Is his name something else? I sure like to know. He's not in here. You should think about it. Think about it. So that's what I'm saying to you all. We didn't heard man teach this without the spirit of truth, nor the light. They taught this in darkness, and that's where it's being taught today. And that's what people are understanding it, in the darkness. No one wants to hear it in the spirit realm. No one wants to know it in spirit and truth. But those who are being marked in the forehead, they coming up out the woodworks with knowing now spirit and truth. Even things they had read at one time, it's being more clearer to them in the spirit realm as well as the natural. Because that's what Ahai would do. He would give you the spiritual part just so you can conquer the natural. And then you can say, okay, when this is the way it is, it was, and it shall be. And this is the way they're trying to portray it. And that is a beautiful thing because of where we're at. We in that hour running up on the minutes. And I want to tell y'all something. He's coming. He getting his. Without a doubt, he's going to get what's his. He's going to come and get what belongs to him. He don't need nobody running to Pharaoh telling them, give them reparation, or you need to give us this and that. They, at the sound of my Father's mouth, in the spirit realm, whatever we leave out of here with, it's going to be because the authority of his voice, his word, the authority of his word, the authority of his word. The authority of his word is what's going to cause them to give us substance. Let me tell you something else about that. Because the word was, is, and shall be, and always was at the beginning. That word has power, y'all. And when it speaks, it's always backed up with us. He said, let us. That's the Father's power. His word is always backed up with that power. And that's another thing. Walking in the midst of all these different churches and these different beliefs and these different denominations, these different teachers, pastor, bishop, Maureen, seers, watchmen, apostles, prophets, prophetess, because they are off the chain. These so-called prophetess is off the chain. He say, she say. That's all they caught up in. He said, she say. He said, she say. Ahia ain't called nobody in such 1 hour left. Oh no, an hour left, and we're running on the minutes. And you think Ahia caught up in he say, she say? Those are false prophets, false prophetess as well, false prophetess, because they ain't none of them are giving Ahia no glory. They ain't giving him no honor. They ain't giving him no recognition. They ain't giving him no praise. They ain't putting him up on no pedestal. They ain't doing nothing but trying to find something to say, Ahia told them this and told them that. Oh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Wait a minute, hold up. How's all that? You got all that and got no spirit and truth. You ain't got no power behind what you said. And people flaunt for it. It's no way Ahia going to waste his time telling me Deborah Beyonce, she's going to give up singing in 6 months. That's what these women, they call themselves prophets. Or he said this about me. He talking about me. She talking about me. He talking about me. She said this and she said that. Trying to prove yourself. Trying to prove yourself. Ain't trying to prove the Father is who he said he is. He's this. They don't even know. I'm going to tell you so deep about it. They don't know nothing even about his right hand. 99.1 trillion on these devil platforms don't know nothing about the Father's right hand. They don't know nothing about his stretched out arm. They don't know about spirit and truth. They don't know nothing about the light because they ain't teaching it and they could care less. They said to you loud and clear, I'm on here for subscribers and likes. How y'all like me now? If you do, give me a like and subscribe. That's what this whole ordeal is about. And you got to let them have that. You got to let them have their glory. You got to let them have their praise. You got to let them have their honor, but don't you give it to them. Let these other ones that has been created to follow them. But don't you give it to them. Your Father is a creator, is a jealous one. He shares his glory, nor his honor, nor his praise. How can somebody who ruled everything share anything? Think now in a way that someone else can get some of it. Oh, no. And he has to be the one to do it all? Come on now. Does that make any sense? It doesn't. And he's not partaker in that. He knows that there's two that's down on the earth. And they're down here to separate each and everyone from one thing to the other. That's another thing about the twos. You got two of everything. You got the broad gate and you got the narrow gate. Okay? You have Ahia and you have Satan. Okay? Ahiah got the lake of fire, and he got the eternal heaven. That's two. Satan ain't got nothing. All he knows is that where his end game is prepared, and it's real soon. That's all he knows. And he's saying that all that you have given me, I have not lost one. That's what he says to the Father. All that thou hast given me, I have not lost one. That's why that broad gate is so broad. Everything that Ahiah have shown us and told us through his spirit is plainly heard and seen by those who are branded for his name's sake. And if you're not branded for his name's sake, that's why you can't hear him. You can't see him. You don't know nothing about his right hand. You don't know nothing about his stretched out arm. You don't know nothing about us in Genesis. You don't even know nothing about Genesis 1 and 2. You don't know anything. All you know is how to believe man's mouth is teaching out of this book. And you best bet is to give them subscribers, which is lights, praise, and glory. And then there go Father. He's just out there. And everybody like walking around like, oh, yeah, this is the way we like it. You already on Satan's side and don't even know it. So anybody in the live chat, it's good to see everyone in the live chat. If you have any questions, or you even have an answer to some questions, you can go on and speak. Yeah, I mean, come on now, be for real, y'all. Do you hear these people doing anything that refer their audience or their people that likes and subscribe and comment? Do you hear any of them saying anything about your Father? How excellent he is, how wonderful he is, how powerful he is. Nobody says nothing. They don't say nothing. And no one seems to think that that's something wrong. Everybody call it right. That's how right become wrong and wrong become right. Because I don't get why they would do that. I do get it. That's the problem. Because I do get it, I don't get it. I don't know if you can grip that. Because I do get it, I don't get it. I do get it in the spiritual realm, and I don't want to accept it in the natural because it is what it is. Yes. So if anybody got any topics that's going on or that you heard about, or any verses or chapters that you want to, just for us, we got a few more minutes to discuss. Bring it on out. But yeah, I just really want us to and it's a good thing that I really got a good feeling that and it feels good. It feels to me like he's really near. He's really near. We ain't got long, y'all. We ain't got long. We don't have long. Okay, let's see if someone's saying something that we can. I mean, everything. You don't even hear them including him about nothing. Everybody, I mean, even when they talking the verses here, he's not included. And they can't seem to pull out the spirit and truth of the matter of what even they talking about. No one question it. No one says anything. You know, it's just like, I set an example. If the word polygamy or many men having wives, all they want to do is pull out who had it. That's it. They want to go in here and praise those who had it and try to make it right so that they can live it in this day and time. None of that is spiritual, you guys. None of it is spiritual. Did you all know all of Rachel's children? None of them praised the Most High, nor Jacob's sons. When I think it was Leah, when she had Judith, she began to praise Ahiah. But before then, all that was just going on. They had no detachment to Ahiah himself, none whatsoever. But yet they'll tell you what he approved of because he brought the 12 tribes. The 12 tribes did everything wicked and evil. Why is it people can't see that? They even killed the only one that really was I would say the anointed one of Ahiah, Joseph. They was trying to kill him and sold him off instead. How dare you take your father's baby, which is your brother, and try to get rid of him? You see the minds of these men? They did so many. And one son slept with one of Jacob's wives or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It just so much went on in that family. And just like David, look at how that family, the father told him, I'm going to your family. Oh, Father. He said, David, okay, I'm going to break your family down. Wicked and evil coming to your family. And that same thing, what happened to the 12 tribes? What do you think you're here for? You see? See, we don't see the bigger picture of this thing, y'all. That's what Sister Deborah's been saying tonight. We don't see the bigger picture because we never glorified him. We never honored him. We never praised him. We never put him where he is, whether we know it or not. We put this book and man and women, and I'm going to basically say 90% men and 10% women on pedestals because they taught out of this book. But guess what? They didn't even give you all the fullness. So I began to look at all that stuff that David's children were doing and his sons then were doing. Y'all look at all that crap they were doing. And nobody says nothing. And just because they want to say that, okay, this is the children of the Most High, Ahiah, or Jacob's children, and oh, they did, so they did. Baby, please. That's why you still in here. Right here today, at the end, you in captivity. And no one ever looked at that and say, okay, well, why is Jacob's kids in captivity? It is telling you, go back in that book. See the wickedness of them coming up. And their mothers. And what they were doing. Always fighting, trying to see who's going to lay down with Jacob to have the next child. Oh, here, take my handmaid. Lay down with a Jacob. That is not of y'all. That was the permissive will. That was not what you all think it is. Because they, here, lay down with mine. The other one, here, lay down with mine. And you all think it was about Ahiah producing the 12 tribes. And they've been the nastiest thing on the face of the earth. And y'all did not know that either, did you? Go back and see how ugly they have always been. They weren't people who worship y'all. The 12 tribes weren't the people who really worship y'all. I know it. A lot of them want to run over there to Torah and try to bring it up, make you think, oh, they did. No, they didn't. Jacob's children didn't do nothing but wicked and evil. Always did. And that's why people don't understand. But if Jacob was the seed, all right now. If Isaac was the seed, all right now. These were the ones that were branded. They were the promise for eternal life. But he didn't give the seed the promise for eternal life. He gave them the promise of the land. Now, are some of them going to get Yes, they will. But it ain't going to be the way you think, and you've been teaching, and somebody been telling you, and this. I believe that we need to find where we are, and start communing with the Father in spirit and truth, so He can give us something to keep running on. Because if you wants to put it in this book, you wants to put it in these YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, making all these people holy than thou. That's another thing they're doing. They making these people holy than thou on all these devil platforms. Anybody say anything about God, Christ, Jesus, Christian, Ahiah, Yahuwah, Yeshua HaMashiach, they putting them on pedestals, making them someone. But really, who are they in the spirit? Because if they are someone, okay, then why aren't you speaking spirit and truth and directing people to the light? Let me set another example. When you go to the 10 virgins, this is another example. Because no one wants to tell spirit and truth and don't want to see the right hand of the Father and his stretched out arm, which is his power working in this the book, showing us things of himself. They don't want to see that. They don't want to go in this book and only pull out. Now they want to master it. They don't want to go in here and only pull out what Yeshua said. What did Yeshua say? The word that proceed out of the mouth of Yah. You can find it here, you guys. You can find it in here. And when he says, study to show thyself approved, rightly dividing what? The word of truth. You can hear the word of truth. Okay? How? Because the Ruach HaKodesh will come and give you, through his word out that proceed out of his mouth, the word of truth. Though they don't want to go in here and master those. They want to master every character in this book and then bring it before you, because all the characters in this book has nothing on my Father in the heaven, the creator himself, who gave them an opportunity to be one of the characters because they were his seed from heaven. He put them in the soil so they could grow. And that's why they grow in us based on being put a seed in the soil. These were the seed that came from heaven to give us increase. But we have to see the one that who put the seed in the soil. Didn't he put seed somewhere else? No one wants to teach. Why is it, and who is this sower who's sowing these seeds? And why are you sowing these seeds in all the wrong places where the seed is not going to produce? Because it is written that he is, Ahia is the sower. He sowed those seeds in all the wrong places. He knew when I sowed the seed in the soil, Deborah, that seed there will multiply information. Next. See, but when we teach in this thing, we don't want to teach no spirit and truth of the matter. So people can get this of, wait a minute, how would this sow like I did? When I heard about that, I said, now, wait a minute, Father, I'd like to know who this sower is. And what do he think he doing? And why he out there sowing seeds if he don't know how to put them in the right place? That's how stupid I was. Because I used to ask every question. And a lot of people wouldn't even understand those questions that this girl would ask was what? Thirsting for truth. He that thirst for truth. See, thirsting for truth. I didn't just settle for what they said and how famous they are and how many subscribers and likes. I wanted to know the truth of the whole matter. And only one can give you that is who? The Father himself. And how he said he gonna give it to you through the Spirit. I'll give you what you need. Just come on here. Come on with me. You've been thirsting a long time. You see? But we just so content right where we are with these hypocrites, these fake idol people trying to say they represent your Father, and his Father ain't getting no glory. Your Father in heaven ain't getting no praise. Your Father in heaven ain't getting no honor. And they want to stand on this pulpit and make people think they holier than thou. They are the chosen one of the Most High Ahia that come to tell you this, did. 99.9 have not received the holy calling that they stand in. They haven't received the holy calling that they stand in. And that's why the broad gate gets more, because people say, when I'm called this, and nobody don't care about no position. Where are you in the spirit realm with a higher? Where are you at? And no one ever thought. I'm gonna show you something, y'all. All the anointed ones of the Most High Yah, didn't Ahia go in visions and dreams with them? Didn't he speak to them throughout time? Wasn't he teaching them things throughout time? What about these people here? They ain't got nothing to say. They pulling what they read out of here and bringing it forth to you out of their flesh wisdom, flesh knowledge, and their fleshly understanding. And people are eating it up like a full meal deal, free. No, nothing to give you something to run on and to desire. Just enough to just say anything, enough to get that view, that like, and that subscriber. That's it. That's it. What you got there? Ezekiel chapter 5. Yeah, that's what I heard. Oh, no. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, no. It said held in for review. Somebody messaged they held for review. Yep. Oh, the Christians, they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop idling Jesus Christ. They're not going to stop. They're idolizing him. And honestly, he ain't getting nothing either. Because they're not right in their hearts. No way. Why they idolizing him? They're not even right in their hearts. He ain't. And they ain't either. They're not right in their hearts, even while they're idolizing him, because they feel they can be racist, they can discriminate, they can treat you less than human, and still go to church every to idolize the fake God. They don't have no problem with that, none whatsoever. That's why I say it's not going anywhere. Ezekiel chapter 5. Is it a verse or you just saying the whole chapter? That's probably a good one there too. Oh, you ain't gonna get it. But do you remember what Yeshua said? He told his disciples, the time shall come and the time is now. And the reason why he said the time is now is because of him and his 12 that he was sending out. Okay. He said, the time shall come. That means in this day and time that's come. And the time is now, because who he is, what he is, his 12. When the true worshipers, the true ones, will worship in spirit and in truth. You'll never get a darn person on this devil platform to even teach that, because they don't know nothing about the spirit and truth. They don't know nothing about that. If they teach it, they'll teach it for their subscriber and like, and so they can get numbers. They're not teaching it to really bring it to you in the spirit realm, because they don't know anything. People can't give you what they don't know. And that's another thing. Or was your message? And you mean, and why did they want that from? Why did they take your message off though? Schools telling you about what? No, I don't remember that. The whole chapter of Ezekiel chapter 5. Just give me a little bit. Let me see. Ezekiel chapter 5. I can get it. Because Ezekiel is cutting up from the floor about a whole lot of things. And did you know the people that's teaching, they don't know nothing about what they said? They don't know nothing about what the prophets are saying. They care less. It says something about shaving of the hair and bald. Yeah, it starts off about the shaving. I know the part of the hair and the baldness. I think bald. Oh, you gonna try it again? I don't know why they took it off. I mean, and that just you would wonder If you got millions of people on YouTube, look at the power in how they trying to fully control everybody's page. But I'm gonna tell y'all something I learned, and I learned this in 1 year, that they let these heathens and Gentiles talk any and everything they want. They talk about everything that they feel the system is doing, everything. But then they monetize the melanated people. It is off the chain how they doing that. But it's right. Stuff like that is right based on spirit and truth. Because these are the things and the signs he said you should, you shall see. Okay? So it's almost like verse 6 and 7. It's really strange. Oh, girl, that's a good one. Oh, my goodness. What made you go into that one? Where did you get? And now, see, I didn't even have. Now, see, you good. You good. This is a good one. Now, see what you just see. You see that? That is really good because that's speaking today. That is a really good one. You all go to Ezekiel chapter 5. Let's try it. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse we're gonna bump it up to verse 4. What? Yep, I believe that too. Okay, Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 4. Then take of them again and cast them into the midst of the fire and burn them in the fire. For thereof shall the fire come forth unto all the house of Israel. Now we're going to verse 5. You see that where it says, verse 5, Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 5, thy said Ahiah. You see what I'm saying? That's what Yeshua was saying. Every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah. You see, they won't take that. They won't take that and expound on it or climb on top of it. Because now the word has spoken. I can't get it. I don't get it. Why they do that? Now, verse 5, Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 5, thou said Ahiah, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. Verse 6, she has changed my judgments unto wickedness more than the nations, and my status more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my status. They have not walked in them. Verse 7, therefore, thou said Ahiah. See, there they go again. That's what Yeshua was saying. But every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yah, you will never get these Negroes to come up and pull up and teach that. They won't come up and speak on that. They so busy how they trying to mimic the characters instead of trying to mimic that which is in the spirit realm, if the spirit is in them, but it must not be. Listen to verse 7. Ezekiel chapter 5 and verse 7. Therefore said Ahiah, because ye has multiplied more than the nations that are round about you, and have not walked in the status, neither have kept my judgments, neither have done according to the judgments of the nations that are round about you. See, I try to tell y'all, that's why I don't follow these people. That's a really good one. Thank you so much for that. You all need to read that again. That's Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 4, 5, 6, and 7, and especially 6 and 7. That's a prime example of what I was trying to tell y'all. They teaching y'all, they on this different platform talking and talking, but they ain't seeing how they still is a disappointment to the Father. So why should he take this time to come teach them something? Come get them something. Come show them this and show them that. Why? And they running around here trying to master history. Oh, I'm getting the history and the receipt. Sit your tail down somewhere and your receipts. It is vain and it is vast. It's no good. They speaking no spirit and truth. They want to be recognized. They want to be put up on a pedestals. They want these men to glorify them. And it's men on men. That's why you see a lot of male homosexual. Because men are doing a lot of things where they're drawing men. I was looking at by accident that other guy, what's his name? Sanders. You remember he passed away, said that he had a heart attack. He was saying all kind of negative things about women. And did you know what? Let me explain something to y'all. Y'all did not know. A man that has a hardened heart regarding women, they done got some sugar in them. They done got a taste of the sugar, y'all. So I'm gonna let y'all know that. I know y'all didn't know that, but that's 100. That is, I ain't gonna even say that's 99. That's 100. That's why they hate is so heavy toward women. It's because they desire to taste a man. You see, they desire to taste their own nation, their own male on male. And a lot of them have tasted. And because they have tasted, they hate themselves to the point where they blame woman because they desire men. They desire to be in the presence of men. That's why the Father was telling me about polygamy. And he was saying, Deborah, do you know what's going on up in there? These men got these women. And when these women are there satisfying him, they're going to begin to satisfy each other. Y'all gone. I'm talking about the spiritual realm or something. Spirit and truth of the whole matter. And while these men be grabbing, trying to make these men kings and leaders, you notice first thing they run to is the gym. Where they going gym and you hanging around a bunch of men. What's the deal? See, a lot of y'all don't know nothing about that. That homosexual lifestyle is so deep and hidden and in the closet, out of the closet, under the bed. A lot of them are in it and they lusting off of each other and at each other. Y'all didn't know that. I'm going to tell it like it is. A lot of them. That's why I was like, well, why did, if you, every one of the homosexual pastors, every one of them that was in the tribe of Judah came forth, look at their bodies, muscular. And even old heads. They always keep their upper body because that's what's appealing to the younger men. You have to talk to them to get some information. You have to talk to them. So they go in the gym and they work on this. They always trying to make it look buff. And when they start to do that, they start to lust after each other. Go on, tell them the truth, Deborah. We there at the end. He coming. He on his way. Tell them the truth, Deborah, and shame the devil. Let the devil know it's out. Because see, a lot of these women don't know nothing about that. So while they playing the women for polygamy is the cover up, y'all. A lot of that is the cover up. So that they can do their dirt on the side and make it look like I got wives. Y'all better watch that. Running around here, these men running around here talking I want to be kings and leaders and rulers. I want women to submit. That's because they want men, you guys. And they have them. And they didn't have a man. And if when you got that, like that guy that what his name was, Sanders, whatever his name was, the one that was saying something about, if you didn't know that man didn't had a man before, something wrong with you. And when they have men or have had a man, they hate themselves so much because they're trying to figure out their identity. And they begin to hate women. See, they go around, when you see gay men, who do they run and try to be around? Women. Why? So they can mimic you, women, so they can steal your identity and still be a man. They love to steal your identity. That's why they turn around, and when they get to the point where they so out of the closet, they standing on the Empire State Building. They ready to cross dress and just come all the way out. But if you just sit and listen to them talk, they'll tell you straight up from the floor. They will tell you. This one guy, I think this, when I first got on YouTube, and a gospel singer, and this little boy, he looked like skin and bones, but he used to always kind of be dressed kind of neat, and he's kind of like a little famous, and all the guys that was with him, that sung, it's probably like 7 or 8 of them, all of them was gay. All of them was gay. And I remember saying to him one time on one of his things, I said, now, how is it you trying to preach and teach something about God, and you all up in the church, and y'all like that, and y'all think that's of God? You know what he said to me? He said, let me tell you something. That's just not the church we in. We go way out across country. We go way out across state to state. And every time we get there, pastors be at our hotel already, paying our fees, paying our hotel, and giving us a key. And I said, this young man, no, he ain't telling the truth. He telling the truth because I end up talking to other gay men. That's in the so-called Christian church. It ain't just in the church. It's in the same people that was once in the Christian church is now hollering they the children, and they the Hebrew Israelite. And that's why it's so easy for them to shut a woman down, because they don't want the men to feel no woman. They don't want the men desire to want no woman. So if we put them lower than low, we get them to dress like slaves, so nobody won't look at you, so you won't lust at them, so you won't look at them. We get them to look a certain way, to dress a certain way, and then here goes some of them having women, they're not allowed to look up at them. They have to keep their head down. Old heads, see how sick they are? Old women, old enough to know better that it's not the will of the Father. Why? Because afraid if you look up a man, look in your eyes, he already looking at your body. And even if you got long clothes and head wrap and body wrapped up like a mummy, guess what? You cannot change the lust of a man. That's rooted down deep. And this is, I feel sad, but I'm glad, because my father is separate from all that mess. And that's what makes me so glad. But I'm so glad to talk about it, because it's stuff that's really, truly messed that's in the closet. A lot of these women don't even understand. The reason why they want y'all dressing like slaves is to keep these other men that they want. They want the men for themselves. And y'all can't even see it. What would be the purpose of a man walking around in name brand clothes and bodybuilding? What is all that getting ready? Who are you getting built for? Who are you dressing in nice clothes for? Come on now, y'all. You get what I'm saying? To hang around the men? Come on now. Eddie Long will come back here, tell the story. T.D. Jakes, he's getting ready to tell the story. All of them been dipping and tipping. I know Juanita Bynum, she had came out of her closet. She was doing it too. I'm telling y'all, y'all been all up believing these people. Anytime you got a group, a camp, a group, a church form in the woods with a bunch of men trying to teach them how to be kings and leaders, you know what? You're going to have king on top of king. How you like me now? That's what that's really about, y'all. King on top of king. Because what did they do? They got the woman corner. She can't even get up. Those men are lusting after each other. It's going to be like the days of Noah. Do you think he's talking about? What is he saying? Oh, this book belongs to us. This is about our history. The days of Noah is about your history too. Where are you at today? He says it's going to be in the end days. It's going to be just like the days of Noah. And he said also what? In the days of Lot. Y'all didn't know they did you. That's why I said they don't teach y'all that. When he said it's going to be like the days of Noah, guess what? There's a verse in there telling you in the end days, it's going to be like the days of Lot. Is he lying? No, he ain't. Why? Because what do you see today? Let me show y'all something. And I think it's kind of sad, just like you got Ezekiel up out of there. That's a beautiful one. That matches a lot of things that I've been saying. And I thank you and I appreciate you pulling that up. Now I'm going to show you something else. And this is why I be trying to tell y'all, they ain't going to teach spirit and truth. They're going to teach what they want to teach to get glory and praise. Now, this is show you right here. This is in Isaiah. Isaiah is warning us that's in captivity and the things that we done and how he's going to bring us out and the things that we done and how we're going to be paying consequences. But listen to it in Isaiah chapter 3. Watch what he said. And I said, but Father, now you going like a little bit deep in here now. This is going a little bit too deep. And I never said anything to you all about it, but I'm going to go there. I'm going to go and let you see it for yourself. Go to Isaiah chapter 3. Go to Isaiah chapter 3. I'm gone, y'all. I'm just going to go on there with it. And listen to this. Isaiah chapter 3. Okay. Let's go to verse 6. Verse 6. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 6. And he's talking about now, y'all. Now, when a man shall take a hold of his brother. So is this a man and a man or a woman and a man? Is he talking about a man and a man, a male and a male, or a brother or a brother and a sister? Listen to it again. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 6. He talking about men. Now watch this here. When a man should take hold of his brother of the house of his father. He's talking about a man that's in the family. They got the same father. The father, the house of his father. That means his house, his family house. Okay, watch this here. Saying, thou hast clothing, be thy ruler. So they asking the young men to be their ruler in the household. So if you got 5 men in the house that's brothers, they going down to the youngest one, asking him to be their ruler. Now watch this here. And let this reign be under thy hand. They're asking the young brother to rule that household. That is exactly what the Hebrew Israelite men has done to these young men. They schooling, the old heads are schooling the young one, all this wickedness, evil, polygamy, getting women under subjection. Women are to keep quiet. Whenever somebody tells somebody to keep quiet, they need to keep quiet. You know why? Because it ain't written in the book that he, Ahiah, said, woman, don't you open your mouth. He didn't say that. Okay? That man said that. Now listen to this. Watch where it's going to show you what a homosexual. Verse 7. Now he's saying here, well, men are going to be grafting men, bringing them into the same house. You know, in the house. It could be 5 brothers, but it could be like a fraternity of brothers. But they're going to reach all the way down where the young one is at and make him the ruler. That's what it says, y'all. And it says, let this reign be under thy hand. The young one. Now watch this here. Verse 7. In that day, that's when he's trying to get us to understand what they're going to be doing now in this day. Shall he swear, saying, I will not be a healer. For in my house is neither bread nor clothes. Make me not a ruler of these people. See, this is what these men are doing. They taking these men from everywhere, bringing them in, trying to make them kings, leaders, and rulers, and trying to make the women be submissive so far to the ground till they just trash. Now, where is this thing about making the young one the brother of the house, the ruler? For what? They doing things they ain't got no business doing. I'm going to show you where he's coming from. Now, in verse 7, it's telling the young one is saying, look, I'm not a healer. I don't have no clothes. I don't have no bread. I don't have nothing. I don't want to be a ruler of these people. You see on YouTube a lot of these young heads coming up. We the people out on corners and talking about they know this and they know this, and they didn't. The old heads have schooled these young men to believe it's like they say it is, not like Ahia have created it to be, but they say it. They don't even know how to praise and give Ahia glory. They don't know how to magnify his name. They don't know how to lift him up and give him all praise. They don't know nothing about his right hand nor his stretched out arm. They don't know nothing about who is us in Genesis because they don't know who they are from their mother's womb. They don't even know if they going or coming. Now here we go. What's happening? Watch this here. For Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah has fallen. Just like he said, Babylon has fallen. He said, Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah has fallen. And nobody knows that. You don't hear not one man talking about that. Now watch this here. Because their tongue and their doing are against Ahia. Now, you see how you poured out Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 6 and 7? Look what he said in Isaiah. See, Isaiah, Ezekiel, and Jeremiah is telling it like it is. But you ain't going to see them get in there and teach this thing like that with spirit and truth. They going to teach it cutting around the corners. But listen what he said. Now, pay attention to this, you guys. Isaiah chapter 3, verse 8. He says, for Jerusalem is ruined, and Judah has fallen. Okay, so how is Judah something today, and they ain't gripped and accept the curse itself, that they ain't crap? Okay, now watch this here. Because this is what it said. Because their tongue and their doing are against Ahia. Why is it against it? To provoke the eyes of his glory. To provoke the eyes of his glory. They've been working on this for you all for some time now. YouTube just gave them a platform to make fools out of y'all, to mislead and guide you all in all kind of wrong ways. Now here come the homosexual, y'all. Here it comes. Verse 9. The show of their countenance do it witness against them. This, then you look at them. It witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom and hide it not. Homosexuals. Now, wait a minute. He ain't saying women. He's talking about the same one back in the days of Lot. They all out in the open. You see? Now watch this here. Woe unto their spirit, for they have reward evil unto themselves. Now watch this. Verse 10. Say ye to the righteous, that it shall be well with them, for they shall eat the fruit of their doing. Ain't no shame in it. That's what I told y'all at the beginning of this topic. They ain't got no shame in what they teaching y'all. It ain't got no shame in what they doing. They don't care about you and your Ahia. They don't care about being the true Jews. They don't care about being the chosen. And they running around here teaching you all on these platforms as if they special people. But they doing a lot of wicked. And the Bible lets you know what you're going to be seeing in these men. And nobody wants to take on the fact, well, why are you talking a lot about males? Talking a lot about. So when you turn around and go to Isaiah verse 12, Isaiah 3 and verse 12, it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. oh my people. He's talking about the same one he said that's going to rule over them. Which led thee, caused you to err. The one that led you. They caused you to err and destroy the way of the path. This is the same thing. And if you go all the way down, you can see what he's telling. He's telling the men. And even talking about the judgment. It says in 14, Ahiah will enter into judgment with the ancients of his people, which was always the father and the prince, which is man thereof. For ye has eaten up the vineyard and spoil of the poor in your houses. So that's why you see them getting groups of men and getting groups of stuff. Don't y'all play with that. Don't estimate, but it's going to come out. It's going to be revealed this year anyway. But a lot of them dipping in and out. I won't be surprised even if TDJs come out and show you who he is. All of them. Donnie Clerk, and he don't even understand. I can see that homosexual spirit still on him. He might not be practicing it, but it's still abide in him. So that's what I'm saying. You can go on and these men can do whatever they want because it's over. It's finished. And that's why he said at the continents, they're not even ashamed of how it's on them. And let me ask y'all something. Do you all know reason why he said and they're not ashamed of their continents? Because even the elects can see who they are. And they still say, so what? That's why you see the government and the president okay and all this LBG, so and so and so. Don't think it don't reign in the Hebrew Israelites. Yes, it does, baby, because it started there. The reality of truth. See, nobody don't want to talk about that. That's why I say to you all, they're so busy bringing y'all low so they can appear to be high. These men are not who y'all think they are. Anytime a man can have that much hate, let me tell y'all something that happened. And I know I shouldn't bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. My oldest son is 42. And he said something to me yesterday. And all of a sudden, the quiet storm took 2 steps. And I said, okay, I don't need you to come down here. I don't need you to go back upstairs. I don't need you to come down here. I was over to their house. And that was my other son. I called him the quiet storm. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting here snapping at my oldest son, and he's saying things very disrespectful. And all of a sudden, you still see this here quiet son still in the midst. I said, go. I don't need you. Going up. And he said to my son, he said, you lying to her. I was right there yesterday with her. And the idea was, you all have to save your money to get your car to go to work. And he gave a certain amount, and I gave it to the quiet storm because he saves it, for him. He pretends that someone stole it. You see, knowing where it was at because he wanted to go to the movies. So that's the 42-year-old. So the quiet storm went on up to the top of the steps, and me and my son were still at each other. And then I said, okay, you get to work the best way you can. And I was heading out the door, and he was saying some words, my oldest son, very negative. He came up to that door as I was going out. Before I can turn around, quiet storm had him. Quiet storm had him. Quiet storm lifted him up, slammed him so hard onto the ground, pinned him away. Big bro couldn't even get up. Quiet storm is one of the young ones. Pinned him down. And what quiet storm said, as long as I live, don't you ever let me see you nor hear you disrespect my mother. All that she have done. So I was trying to pull them apart and got them apart. I don't know if it was, no, I don't think it was me, but I did. I hurt my ankle and everything, but they was apart. And I've been praying all day, Father, this is it. This is it, you guys. This is really it. And I think about, and I can't help but see how that quiet storm snuck up behind. He didn't sneak up. He came down the steps. And my son was saying things to me when I was leaving out. And I heard this big old boom. I looked up. He had him up in the air. Bam! Slammed him down. And that man couldn't move. Quiet storm had him still. Down on the ground. Don't you ever, ever, ever do that to my mother again. Oh, man. He changed his tone. When he let him up, he changed his tone. So to say this, we got men on the earth that will stand up for righteous. I don't care who, they're willing to die to stand up. Now, I already know about this quiet storm because Philip is my son that passed away at 3. I don't know what he come here for. Because when Philip came, he was like smart as, and the doctors knew, even in his book, they were saying, how could he act so aware and observing everything? Philip never smiled a day in his life. And this quiet storm looked just like him. So I know quiet storm, it's not here to just be here. He came to me when quiet storm was 6 months. And he said something to my spirit. He said, you'll never know him. And that bothers me even to today for me to even say that. Because it's scary. I will never know him. What do you mean? I will never know him. I will never know him. What do that mean? It scares me. It scares me. Because who I think he is, to me, that's knowing him. But the Father is telling me something deeper. Quiet storm ain't who you think he is. You see what I'm saying? And even dealing in that area. And the reason why I'm sharing that with you all is because Sister Deborah don't cut short on nothing. I don't care who you are, what you are. I just tell it like I know it in righteousness. You see? And him doing that was a sight out of this world because I didn't know nobody could do something like that. The way he did it, and I kept telling Quiet Storm, go back upstairs. I'm not talking to you. Going upstairs, and I know he don't say nothing. He won't say nothing. He don't say nothing. He won't say nothing. And I'm wondering, wait a minute, what happened? I believe his spirit, he's very anointed. His spirit knew something that I didn't know. You see what I'm saying? And that's why he hung close. So last night I went into prayer to bring in the so-called worldly calendar year. Whether it's a new year, it's a new what, I don't give a care. I still touch base with my Father in the closet. And I went into praying, and then I asked him, how can I go on from here? How can I go on? Because see, stuff like that, y'all, take me way down. It takes me so far down. Because, with Sister Deborah, if anybody going to be loud or going to say something, it's going to be me. We don't have this. This stuff don't happen. We ain't going to tolerate this. But to happen, it just brought me to the level of understanding this is the way the year going to be. And ain't nobody going to do nothing about it. So get ready, get ready to get ready. And just like I said in Isaiah chapter, what was that? Isaiah chapter 3. And I want y'all to really look at that and see how in the men are going to be trying to get the other men, the younger men. That's another example I was trying to show you. Older brother. It was the 42-year-old against the 28-year-old. And the 28-year-old shut the 42 down. That's what I was trying to say as far as trying to kind of bring some ideal of how they're going to let the older ones in the house is going to be calling for the young ones to be rulers, so they can stand back and do all the evil stuff and let them be the rulers, the ones that rules. And then the young ones are going to say, no, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no bread. I ain't got no clothes. You ain't going to put me to be the ruler over this house of these people. That's what the men are doing when you see them in these camps, when you see them in these communities and in these churches. These black people are melanated men. Jacob's sons ain't never want to do nothing right. So don't assume because we're Jacob's seeds that we are all let know. I tell y'all, they never talk the truth. The truth is that we as Jacob's seeds has never done the Father's right. Never. And in Isaiah 3, he said here and told you here in Isaiah 3 and verse 8, Jerusalem is ruined and Judah has fallen. Didn't he tell you Babylon has fallen? You see what? Watch this here. Because their tongue and their doing are against Ahiah to provoke the eyes of his glory. Verse 9, the show of their countenance, that means the way they be dressing. I just told y'all that. Do witness against them. And our sister Deborah just broke down that to y'all. You see them going to the gyms. You see them now wearing tight clothes. They want the women to look like a mop. I'm going to give y'all, I'm going to preach that thing, y'all. I'm going to get that mop and I'm going to hold that mop right here and I'm going to preach that thing because that's what our women have brought themselves to, looking like a darn mop. Because these men are putting them in captivity. To shame. No. But then they walking around here with name brand muscle shirts on, tight clothes. Look at TD Jakes. You don't see TD Jakes in nothing loose. He wear everything tight. Then he'll take off his jacket, even his shirts now, because he wants you to see his whatever that called. He wants you to see him because the gay men loves that. All you have to do if you go back to what's his name, Eddie Long, it still should be online where you see his pictures of him, and you will say he sure is in the bathroom with them same muscle shirts that you see a lot of these men running around here with, and you see them getting all up here ready, prepared, because that's what the men like in men. Y'all didn't know that, did you? That's one of the number one thing they like in men. I know they like the other end, but I'm just saying when they looking, they like that appearance of their upper body. So if you see them, that's why they start staying. These men will start going to these gyms, trying to get buff and wear these tight knit shirts. Be careful. Be careful. And when I mean careful, don't be trusting them in nothing. Because if you can walk out like that and get your body together, and the women run around here overweight, underweight, and dressing with looking like a mop, a straight up mop. No, Sister Deborah is not. I'm not going for that. I'm not going to look the role. I'm going to walk that role. I'm going to talk that role. I'm going to be about the role of my Most High, Ahiah. And I ain't going to run around here trying to dress the outer man away that the inner man is not. I'm going to dress the outer way like the outer way feel. But I'm going to speak the way the inner man lives. So all that other stuff can go kick to the corner, to the curb. Ain't nobody got time to role play. Everybody want to role play this time. This thing is real. And everybody want to role play. So here in Isaiah chapter 3, y'all need to read that. It's actually dealing with the men. It's actually telling you that they all the way out there, like the days of Lot, and nobody ain't paying no attention to it because they ain't gonna teach you. These men, these Hebrew Israelite men ain't gonna teach you no stuff like that. They don't want nothing that's gonna show really who they are. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm a people person. I am straight up from the floor up a people person. I don't care about guys being homosexuals and females being lesbian. When they want to talk, they talk and I listen. And let me tell you something. I tell them that it is abomination. I let them know truth. But they tell you where it come from, where it originated from. And most of them start in churches, y'all. Just like the priests been raping them little boys. See, y'all just don't get it. Y'all just do not get it. And nuns, they was doing that to them little girls. Same thing. You cannot put women together and tell me they sharing a man. And if they sharing the man, they covering up for the man because the man not only have you, he have men too he looking at. The cover up is the women. And he's so ignorant, the women also covering up with you. Because they dipping and tipping with each other. Y'all don't know that. When the Spirit told me that last year, I was like, I can believe that, Father, y'all. I can believe that. That's about right. Because all you had to do is talk to the women. And they'll tell you. They'll tell you what's going on. Because this is one guy, he stays out in the woods. And he had one wife. And I think they had 3 children. And they got a page. And everybody just so overwhelmed by him. I'm like, he even sounds stupid. And then he went and got him 3 wives. I'm like, they all up in the woods and don't have nothing. I mean, just up in the woods with them babies and woo! And in the way he looked, and they just and you know what? I sit there and I'm gonna tell y'all. That's why I say you better watch who you entertaining. When I saw them 3 wives, they were doing a video together. And all I could see straight through, they messing with each other. I'm going to tell you the truth. They are messing with each other. They are messing with each other. See, that's what I'm saying. The Father said, you ain't getting away with nothing. I don't care if you go and put 1 million people in the woods and pull out the ones you want and give each man who they want. When you finish, all kind of stuff is going on up in there. Even agents that's already hired and being paid to sit amongst you to make sure they write down everything. So when they get you, they're going to have your tail. Because you ain't teaching spirit and truth. You're not about the Father. You're about your pleasure, your lust, and your fantasy. And you got it. Go for what you know. Because Father going to go for what he know regarding you. You're going to be left in the midst of your chaos. And you don't know what's coming on you tomorrow. Because a lot of them don't care. They ain't worried about it. You got another one on Romans chapter 1 and 26 and 30. That's another fire, huh? You all get that one down. Romans chapter 26. And which one is that? Yeah, that's true. But you know what I'm asking him? You know what I said to him? I said, Father, teach me how to give it all up to you. And that's where I think he's going to help me with you guys. He's going to help me by taking it from me. I want him to take my children and my grandbaby. I gave them to him a long time ago. But I want him to take everything regarding my children and do what he does best. And in that, I have to also keep in mind, in the spiritual realm, he owns them anyway. 26 for this call. Now you see this here, what you see in here in Romans chapter 1, verse 26. You see how he's talking to men? Do you see how he's talking to men? And because the way the lifestyle man chose, listen to what he says. For this cause, what cause is that? Because of the lifestyle you all loving one another, men with men. Listen to what he says. For this cause, because it was a cause that caused him to do what he's doing. Listen to what he said. Romans chapter 1, verse 26. For this cause, Ahiah gave them up until a their affection. For even their women, see, even their, there you go. Girl, you know you hot. You hot. There it is. That's exactly what I was telling you. Even their women did what they were doing. Didn't I just got you telling you that? That's the whole, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. That's the whole thing that's going on now. So when you hear them camps, them little academies, and these men getting these churches and getting these here going out in the woods and making men king leaders and rulers. They lifting weights and building up. Baby, don't let that fool you. There's other things going on deeper than deep. Okay. And it says here on verse 26, for this cause God gave them up to their affection. Gave what up? Their homosexual lifestyle. Men having men. Let them do what pleases them. And he gave them up. For even their women did change the natural use unto that which is against nature. How did the women change? Because of the men. Ahiah had turned them over to please one another, the men. So because the women saw the men having each other, that's the true story. That's the truth of the matter, y'all. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's really what's going on in a lot of that. And a lot of us thinking they got it going on because they out in the woods. They got a church and they doing it. Baby, please. It's all kind of old mess going on there. All kind of old mess. In verse 27, and likewise also the men leaving the natural use of a woman. See? They left the natural use of the woman because they was feeling men. So don't let nobody fool you all. Don't let nobody fool you all. Men with men working that which is unseemly and receiving in themselves the recompense of their error, which is met. They lust. They quick fix feeling. That's a good one. That was a really good one. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. That was Romans chapter 1, verse 26, all the way down to 32. But it's the whole idea of it is it's really showing you what is going on in these places today. Because if you go, I want y'all to go into it's in the New Testament, as they call it, and you will see where he said it's going to be like the days of Noah. It's not the Noah. He says that too, the days of Lot. You know, all this time I've been reading this book, I never saw it say it's going to be like the days of Lot. I saw it said it's going to be like the days of Noah, but it's in there saying it's going to be like the days of Lot. This homosexual thing. And don't if you listen to the homosexual men who've been in it, they'll tell you all these men is running around here bodybuilding, putting on these tight shirts. They'll give you the whole lowdown. They'll give you the whole lowdown. Grouping together, sitting here telling you we leaders, we kings, trying to be rulers. So that it can show you that they put belittling the women, but they really desiring each other. Be careful with that. I'm glad the word of the Most High has revealed that in allow it to be in the book, so we can kind of have some information to know really where we at. Because most people don't. They don't want. They wants to say the things. It's just crazy how you see people dancing and just gone. These people are just gone. So anybody have any questions? I know it's getting 2 hours and a half. And I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat. And like I say, if you have any question, I think that we can ended up on 2.5 hours. So I got about 10 more minutes. Uh, keep turning to the face of Ahia. Make it easy. Don't make it hard. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You know what I was wanting to do, you guys? I want to have a women's retreat. And my oldest daughter know how to set it up for me. And I know how to do it, but as far as where I want to have it. And guess what? I don't know what I did with the zip codes. I need the zip codes again. And I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. And let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to come to your state in the area of where you're located, and we're going to have a women's retreat. And I want to do it for May of this year. Now, I know things going on later on, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be some things. But I think we should come together and just have us a really, 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 really good time. I really do. Okay. One thing I know I want to do is where we all go and we go to the store and everybody get their famous dish they know how to make. And we make ourselves a big and we're going to just discuss some things that uh and I'm just hoping that many will come and join me. It'll be really nice. Sister Deborah, like I've told y'all this many of times. When I do something, I do it up. I better stop. I better stop. But I do. And don't think I don't have the help of the Most High or higher. I always, and even thinking back at it, at being young and everything I did, I knew how to do hair. I was the person in elementary that people would want me to do their hair. I mean, they had me doing perms, cut, uh, 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 jerry curl, S curl, weave. And the way I used to do the weave was I braided, I French braid, cornrowed it all the way around in a circle. That's how we did our weave back in the day. And then I start from the center and then I sew the hair all the way around that circle. You see, I used to do all that stuff. It wasn't nothing that I couldn't put my hand to that I couldn't do. Braids and all of that. Oh, whew, I was really good at all that type of stuff. But let me get this other number down here. Okay. I always was pretty good at doing hair. That's what my oldest sisters always said, that you need to go and get your license or degree in doing hair. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that the rest of my life. But I look back at my life. I used to really love to cook, though. So I guess that's why I stuck with that for so long. But I want to do a women's retreat for 3 days in May of 2023. And we're going to get a house. I want one that at least have, say, 6 bedrooms. Okay. And just have a really good time. Just a really good time. And we can do that. We can do that. And I have so many things, so many good ideas, things that we could do. And we're going to have a really, really good time. A real good time. I know how to do that. And it's going to be in May And I will be posting more information regarding. But I wouldn't give nobody our location, y'all. I ain't gonna give nobody our location. I give it to the individuals in which we touch base with when I send them information. Then I would touch base. But I thought May of 2023. I don't know what things going to be, what could actually take place before then, but I don't know. All I can do is my daughter know how to deal with. I do too, but I think I want to put her on that uh, with helping me get the location. After that, I think I could take it from there, but helping me get the location, and I think my daughter might even come. Matter of fact, I might bring both of them. How you like me now? I think I might do that. Let them go on the 3-day retreat with us. My oldest daughter is 34 or 5. My youngest daughter, she's 19. She's going to be 20 this month. Uh, and tell her too. And I think they might like that. I think they might like that. So Sister Deborah says, okay. All righty. So, okay, then, you guys, it's almost 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I say I appreciate each and every last one of you all. I did get the zip codes. And I'm going to get a place that's near in the center of all the zip codes and hope that it'll work out. And even if I go by myself, I still have a good time. Mm. So I, Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you all. And I say I will be back. Shalom and shalom.